So the Hall of Fame, take me through everything that you can remember from finding out you were being inducted, starting with the door knock.
That day at the door knock, obviously my wife knew that day and then the day before, so she did a hell of a job. She's never, I could tell when she's like holding something, so she did a good job there.
It's really hard to keep a secret from Calvin, A, because we talk about everything, and B, because he's nosy.
The way she played it off, she said we had a family call. And it wasn't out of the ordinary because it's Corona. You know, we would do a call, like a monthly call, just check up, everybody on FaceTime, yada, yada, yada. And she's like, I think my friend Mel's coming over, so I hear a knock, knock, knock. I look at the door, I'm like, Mel is like freaking, Mel ain't nothing but like 5'5", if that, you know? And I see it's like a bear at the door. I'm like, what the hell? So I started walking to where my pistol's at.
He was like, there's a really large man outside, and I'm not expecting anybody.
Oh yeah, I was going to get my pistol. I don't answer the door at night without my pistol. Shit, crazy. You're in Michigan. Well, but I'm going to get my pistol. My wife was like, you good? You do not need your pistol. When she said that, I'm like, what you mean I'm good? What you mean? And like, it's nighttime. Did you see this person at the door?
Thankfully, he came to us and was like, yeah, I probably can't do that.
And she's like, you good? I'm like, okay, something's up. And then as I'm walking to the door, I'm like, oh, it's starting to sink in. I'm like, oh, and I opened up the door, I was at a loss for words at that point.
Calvin.
Yes.
David Baker from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I want to welcome you to Canton, Ohio, where for the rest of the time, we want to guard your legacy and thank you for all you've done for this great game.
What were you thinking?
I'm like, it actually happened. It's a dream. Till the next day, like, I was like, you know, I was literally pinching myself. I'm like, this real? Like, for real.
No, I got tears in my face.
The tears were flowing, and he couldn't stop them. So, I mean, you could see that this was something that I think he believed he deserved it, but he just wasn't sure if he'd get it.
Why do you think that is? Well,
his work speaks for itself,
yeah.
But everyone claims he retired early and he doesn't have the stats that Jerry has. He doesn't have the stats that, you know, so many guys in his position play for much longer, and so he just wasn't sure. It's not just his merit, but it's also politics that play a part in it, so.
The experience from this past week that most sticks out to you would be what?
Just the guys embracing me, you know, all the gold jackets embracing me there. Irvin and Carter, man, just being able to just have those conversations with those guys that you looked up to. Harold Carmichael, like the first big wide receiver, you know what I'm saying? You can't put those conversations into word, what they mean.
Trying to keep my emotions in check here, so y'all chill out. Y'all chill out. It gives me great joy to call all of you friends. Woo. Pause that clock right quick. Hold on. I ain't crying.
What are you thinking when you see him start to get emotional?
Oh man, I'm elated because I've seen the injuries that he struggled with, and I've seen him having a hard time getting out of bed in the morning, and then him scoring these phenomenal touchdowns and people applauding him. And that was just a culmination of all of those moments. Even up until the day that they told him you're gonna be in the hall, he was like, if it happens, it happens. Calvin tries not to get too high or too low. He's usually pretty even-keeled. This one, he couldn't stop cheesing from year to year, so it was great.
Tell me about this.
My man Ben Hammond did a dang good job, I can say that. You know, it started with just a big old block of play, and so I see it now, I'm like, dang, I was like, that is spot on. So,
What was your reaction the first time seeing it?
just kind of breathless, you know, it's just like, you know, this is real. It's actually real now. Like, you got a bust in the Hall of Fame.
What's it like all of a sudden being the center of attention all over again?
Your minds get tricked into like you're almost in game day. And then all of a sudden you feel like you got to pee or use the restroom like right before you go on the field. Like, that's how I was feeling. Like, literally today, right before I gave my speech, I had to pee.
Describe the emotion of today.
You know, it was so hard to keep that apple out my throat, the lump in my throat, and not to shed tears, because every time I got to talking about the people, that was the hardest part. You know, my family, my teammates, and then you look out in the crowd and you start making eye contact with people. That's where you mess up at.
Was there one moment that hit you the most?
Yeah, I think when I was talking about my mom.
Her drive pushes her to be the best at everything she touches, and not even a blow, such as pancreatic cancer, was able to dampen her spirit.
Fortunately, she was lucky and found it before it metastasized. So, you know, just talking about my mom, my wife, you know, those are the ones that choke up.
Whenever he talks about me surviving pancreatic cancer, for him to say, you know, that she was strong and that her faith kept her, that was emotional to me because I told them that, you know, everything was going to be okay.
I talked to you briefly before his speech, and you said you didn't want to talk right now because you might get emotional. What about it was so touching to you?
Because he spoke from the heart. He knew what he wanted. He knew what he wanted to say. It's special. I was about to say long time coming, but it wasn't very long. But it just seems like yesterday he started into the league. He's in the Hall of Fame.
We learned about it just before he did, and seeing him cry when he figured it out, I was just like, dude, you deserve it. You knew about it. You knew it was coming. It's just a matter of time.
Thoughts on today?
Amazing. You know, so cool. I've never been, you know, to one of these ceremonies before. Such a cool thing to be a part of. He's in elite company, which is right where he belongs. I'm just so happy for him.
He played a position that is known for, you know, guys that were, I don't want to say divas, but he never had that personality. And I just think it's so satisfying to see him rewarded at the pinnacle of his profession.
He was the best player, but he was also the hardest worker. He was a great teammate to his teammates. He showed out for every one of their charity events. You know, it's hard when you're Calvin, you're so famous, but he made it a point to show up for all those. And everybody sees the Hall of Fame player, but he was a Hall of Fame teammate. He was a Hall of Fame person. He was such a good example for my kids at a very critical time of their lives.
It's the biggest thrill I've ever had in coaching. I mean, I've coached a lot of kids. I had 5 in the NFL. But, you know, most coaches don't ever have an opportunity to see one get in the NFL Hall of Fame.
What's it like having everybody in one room that's played such a pivotal part of your life?
It's huge. It's just like, you know, being here with this gold jacket is a culmination of, you know, all the hard work. That's a combination of all the people that have been in my life too. So just been taking pictures the whole time, but having a great time. We got the same live band that we had at our wedding. It's exciting, man, trying to hold back all the emotions.